ServiceNowStar. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Muhammad Kamal. On today's session, I'll cover one of the very important feature that is recently added by ServiceNow on the continuous authorization and monitoring effort to make it more streamlined when it to the control requirement. Okay, so you see here, just in short, to introduce you to this great feature, you have the checkbox right there, say control, create control requirement, and then from there, you'll see that your control requirement tab, which is a new tab that is control objective requirements tab. Under that, you'll have different controls that you can be generated for you when the control created. Ladies and gentlemen, so we'll do a demo directly on the ServiceNow instance here to show you how this feature really works. It is really a great feature. We've been asking ServiceNow to have that kind of functionality, but if you are new here, welcome back to the ServiceNow Star. Today we'll be diving into how a control enable and manage controls at the granularity level. This includes like auto-generating the control requirement, okay? Meaning your authorization component, your compliance workflow, all that can be streamlined with that generation. So we'll go ahead and take through the functionality, the benefits, managing the controls, and also the control requirement in ServiceNow. Ladies and gentlemen, first let's take a look at what is this button, which is the checkbox, create control requirement. You see right here, create control requirement. Okay, it is not checked, right? I checked it right here. This feature is a powerful feature. It's a powerful tool that can help streamline the process of managing control requirement by enabling the checkbox. Okay, over here, by enabling it, it will go ahead and create control requirement on the control objective. Okay, this automatically trigger the creation of additional controls as a requirement, okay, when that control is generated. So this tab is going to be right there for you. You see right here an edit button or also a new, so you can go ahead and edit here, and we can go ahead and add this. It's going to bring you, based on the family. Okay, what I have right there is AC family. So AC family, now what I will pick is any controls that need to be added as a control requirement. You can go ahead and move it from here and add them. So the most logical way here is for me AC, because I am on AC3. So I'll go ahead and pick the AC3 A and B, for example. See right here, AC312A. Okay, you are breaking down one control, which is AC312, into A, B, C, D, right? So it's gonna really give a sense. It used to be just one control, which is AC312, and you will send that one to one department. Now you can divide them into A, B, C, and then you can send it to a different department so they can finish the component that they need to do. Okay, all right, so what I have right now is under here, control object requirement, I have two. Okay, I can add as many as I need. Now this checkbox is already checked, and also another checkbox that you need to make sure it's turned on is create a control automatically. Okay, at this control objective associated to a given authorization package, and when the time reaches there to create a control, it will go ahead and generate for you the controls. Okay, now when these both buttons are checked, okay, this one and this one, which is create control automatically and create control requirement, this enabling the control objective form where we are right now, ServiceNow will automatically create the controls in the corresponding control requirement. I got two control requirements, and those will automatically generate. Now this logic is particularly dynamic depending on the control's current state, and the control requirement state will adjust automatically as well. Okay, in a little bit I'll show you, in case if you forgot to turn on these two buttons, right, to this button, create control requirement, and then in case you want to add additional control objective requirement, what you need to do, there are ways for that one because it's really dynamic. You should go ahead and move the control back to a draft state, and you can come to the control objective, add how many control requirements, control objective requirements that you need to add, and from there you go ahead and move these checkbox, okay, checkbox, and that will go ahead and generate for you. Now when the authorization package transition from select state to an implement state, okay, you already select everything and you're moving to an implement state, any enabled control requirements are generated. So that's the time it will go ahead and generate. So let's see. Now if I come here, actually any authorization package, okay, if you go to your authorization package, once you are moving from select, selecting the controls and everything, you make sure that one implement, that's the time it's going to generate for you your controls. Now if the flag is not set, this flag is not set, right, the control requirements will not be generated. However, if you later decide to enable this flag, you can also save the control objective record to trigger generation. You just need to save it by making sure this checkbox is checked, and as long as your controls are active and then in draft state, whatever the control generated out of this control objective, it must be active and in draft state. Okay, if it is not in draft state, let's say it's in review state, you have to bring it back to a draft state. So let me quickly show you that part. So let's go ahead and quickly take a look at a control. For example, one control, all controls right here. I'm gonna use all right, these are all the controls that I have on the system. These are all draft controls. Let's go ahead and find another one. Is, for example, in a test. Okay, let's go ahead and open this one. Now this control, which is PE17, is under a test, and you see ServiceNow really added for us a return to draft button. So like this doesn't have any control requirement, it's empty, right? You don't have any. So if you would like to add that, you'll go ahead and return this back to a draft state. Okay, you have to fill any required right here. Okay, we'll talk about the implementation statement. That was also one of the field that I have recommended ServiceNow to add it and that's great, they listen to that. Okay, now the control is back to draft state. Now what you're gonna do is you have your control objective, which is the control objective is alternate work. Now I'll go ahead and open this by holding control. All right, let's go ahead and open. Now we opened it. This is the control. You see that I don't have control objective requirement and it's not checked yet. Okay, what I can do, I'll go ahead and check this, which is create control requirement, and then from there at the bottom right here, control objective requirement, and this is for PE17. Do I have any family for PE17? All right, let's go ahead and first save. Okay, now we can go ahead and PE17, let's see, PE-17. Okay, I have ABC PE17, so I'll go ahead and move a couple of them here. All right, that's good enough. I have two PE17, and earlier when I clicked, actually when I save it, it was telling me that hey, control is going to be generated. Now let's go ahead and save it again. You'll see, let me go back, right click, save this. Okay, I have two. Now I'm gonna go ahead and check this button to activate, to reactivate. I'm gonna save, and you see right here, item generated has been initiated. The process may take time to complete. Okay, now let's go back to our control right here, which is PE17 and we already moved it to the draft state. Let's go ahead and refresh. Okay, and if you scroll down, you'll see that I have PE17 A and B are already generated and associated to this control. Wow, what a cool feature, ladies and gentlemen. This is a really good feature. Okay, you forgot, and we were not we were on a test phase, and now my requirement may be changed and another department might need another control to attest for this one. Okay, no problem. You can just come here And you see right here attestation responder, you can assign to the same person that you have right here, which is that you identified on the main control, which is the Susan Orwell. Or you can come here again, it's under draft state, you can assign it to someone else in different department. I should actually need to open it in a new tab so you can see. Okay, all right, because it's a list kind of list collector, that's why I can't able to edit it. So I have this control, right, different, so I can click it, remove Susan, all right, remove Susan, and then you can go ahead and add a different person, so that way you can add another. For example, let's go ahead and my favorite Abel Tutor, doesn't have a role. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and see GRC attestation. Yeah, that attestation is that one. Okay, let's go ahead and pick Abel Tutor. Here we go, Abel. I was searching on attestation. All right, never mind. Okay, so respondent, now we're gonna send it to Abel Tutor. Abel is a different department. He is an enterprise architect, so he's gonna go ahead and respond to this attestation when the attestation is generated. If that makes sense, everyone? Okay, great. So this feature is really cool. It really help you to go ahead and concurrently divide your controls into different departments, so you can send them. Its ability to auto generate control requirements when your control is created based on the configuration in your control objective. It helps you to monitor and track your control effectivity, okay, and also clearly identify specific requirements that are non-compliant, which leads to a control being on a non-compliant status. Okay, so if you have, for example, 2 control requirement and one of them are not compliant, you'll see that the status, so until you fix that issue, this control will be ineffective. Okay, an issue also will be generated for this control when that control is failed. Great. I think we have done a 3000 level of a yard explanation on this. Let's do a couple of scenario here. What about adding a new control objective requirement? If you add a new control requirement to your control objective, let me go back to my control objective right here. Okay, now controls are already generated. Okay, now in the middle of your implementation, your team decided, or in your compliance team decided, hey, we need more control objective requirement. What do? Not a problem. You just need to add additional control requirements right here. You have here check and uncheck, right? Before you do that, you will go ahead and revert that control back to the draft state. Okay, control that's generated out of this, and then you should come here and then uncheck and check, so that way it can go ahead and regenerate for you additional controls. All right, what about updating a description? So if you update a description of your control objective requirement, the corresponding control requirement description will be updated. Okay, there's a caveat here. As far as your controls are in a draft state, okay, the controls must be in a draft state. If you make any change from the control objective level to any of these control requirements, the control objective requirements, or to the main control, if you make any change to the description or short description right here to the description, yes, definitely we'll go ahead and update your control as far as, okay, it's asynchronically, it's gonna go ahead and update as far as your control is in a draft state. How about you delete your requirement? Okay, how about you delete one of your control objective requirement from here? Would that gonna reflect on your this is a great question, because this might happen sometimes. When you remove your control objective requirement, your related control requirements will not gonna be deleted, but they will mark as a manual requirement. Okay, it will not auto deleted, but they become a manual requirement. And in case if you bring in the control back to draft, which is a manual, tag can be removed if that's necessary. So you're going to bring it back and you can remove that manual tag, ensuring your ongoing flexibility in your compliance journey, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now when the control your authorization package from implement to select state. Okay, implement to a select state, which is you are moving to a select state. All your related controls and requirements are retired. Okay, that's for the reason. Maybe in the future ServiceNow might bring us a new feature, but in case if you go ahead and move it back to a select state from your implement, because you are already start implementation, and move it to select state, everything will be retired, and when you again back to implement state, any controls will be generated. Okay, that brings us to the conclusion of today's session. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you for joining us. This is a great future. We've been asking ServiceNow. I personally working here in Accenture on one of the big IRM CAM projects, and we've been looking for that feature long ago, and we've been doing some kind of custom to get that kind of functionality. But this is great. It can save the compliance team to export and distribute to different team and bring back those results, so you can just automatically generate this different requirement, send it to a different team, so they can go ahead and reflect that within the system. Okay, that's bring us to the last session here. I want to say